And, you know, I'm not saying I want to be gung-ho, and I don't want to upset or offend anybody. Absolutely not. It's the last thing I want to bloody do, you know. Look, we're on the left, aren't we, by and large? We're decent people. We care. We don't want to hurt people. We want to stand up for people. And I think, you know, this is a really pernicious and effective attack, because it's in our DNA to be anti-racist, isn't it? And you're attacking, you know, the very foundation of everything we believe in by implying that we are racist or anti-Semitic. And I've got to say, when I went down to... I was asked to go to speak by the Jewish Voice for Labour outside the Labour NEC when NEC met to deliberate on the IHRA examples. And there was a gathering of about 200 people, and there was another gathering of about half a dozen people who got a load of attention on the media, but literally there was only about half a dozen of them. And of the 200 or so that were there opposing the IHRA examples, including obviously the JVL, a large proportion, I couldn't say that they were mainly from the Jewish community, but I do know for a certain fact a large proportion, including Orthodox Jews and secular Jews, and as I say, obviously people from the JVL and so on, were there supporting that, supporting Jeremy. So, you know, so the Board of Deputies and the so-called self-appointed Jewish Leadership Council don't speak for the entirety of the Jewish community. They absolutely do not. Yes, they speak for some, and there's no doubt about that, and some have been who maybe are not politically, you know, active, and they see this stuff, and they might think, and with good reason, if you're not in the know, you might think, bloody hell, the Labour Party is full of a bunch of fascists and racists, etc. So we've got to work hard, I think, to try and you know, get beyond this. But I suppose it's an inevitability of you know, because this attack has got some traction, and so they've kind of run with it, and they've run with it, and they've run with it, and all the other ones about the IRA and all that kind of stuff. That's not to say there are no examples of anti-Semitism. I'm sure there are. But interestingly, even Chuka, I'll shut up, I know I keep going on too long, but even Chuka Amuna, in an article, I think it was on Labour List, you can look it up, from a few years ago. I think it might have been when he was writing maybe something in response to, or a report about that Home Affairs Select Committee report that looked into anti-Semitism, if you may remember seeing it. And you may have read the article even, but Chuka said that people say, I'm paraphrasing now, but it's word to the effect of, people say that the Labour Party is institutionally anti-Semitic. No. And he says, this is Chuka, I disagree with that, because in 20 years of membership of the Labour Party, Chuka, I've never witnessed a single incidence of anti-Semitism. That's Chuka Amuna saying that. Yeah. So, and likewise, I mean, I've been a member 42 years, and I've never witnessed, anti-Semitism. I've witnessed other forms of racism inside the Labour Party, I regret to say. Very, very few and far between. None are acceptable, obviously, but I have witnessed that. I've not witnessed the other. But again, I'm not saying it's never happened, obviously. And where it does, we've got to call it out. We've got to close it down. Anti-Semites, racists, they're not, no place whatsoever inside the Labour Party. There can be zero tolerance, absolutely. But let's not, let's not kind of inflate it and imply that it's a major problem when it isn't. And as I say, it's clear that people have weaponised this, and it's not me saying that, it's people in the Jewish community have said that. When even people like Chuka Amuna has acknowledged that, he's never witnessed a single incidence of anti-Semitism. And where people have, I think, very mischievously used the appalling abuse which you see online, and then they've conflated that with Labour Party members and said, this is all Labour Party members. Well, where's the evidence of that? Yeah. You know, if you've got any evidence that somebody online is doing that, well, let's have it and let's kick them out. Yeah. But I tell you what, a lot of them are not. I mean, some of them might be on the left, but I also know that some are on the right, the far right, and they're using this to try and sow division. It's that whole kind of divide and rule thing.